First contact. The arrival. The vast expanse of space had always held humanity's dreams and fears. On a crisp autumn morning in 2047, those dreams and fears collided as an enormous alien vessel materialized in Earth's orbit, its crystalline structure refracting sunlight in dazzling patterns across the planet's surface. Dr. Samira Patel, lead astrophysicist at the Global Space Observatory in Chile, was the first to detect the anomaly. Her dark eyes widened as she stared at the readings, hardly daring to believe what she was seeing. "This can't be right," she muttered, furiously recalibrating the instruments. But the data didn't lie. An object larger than the moon had appeared out of nowhere, defying all known laws of physics. Samira's fingers flew across the holographic interface, sending urgent alerts to space agencies and governments worldwide. Within hours, the news had spread globally. Panic gripped some areas, while others erupted in celebration. Humanity was not alone in the universe, and first contact was imminent. In Washington, D.C., General Marcus Chen of the newly formed United Earth Defense Force paced the floor of the underground war room. Surrounding him, screens displayed real-time data from every corner of the globe and beyond. "What do we know about their capabilities?" he barked at his team of analysts. A young lieutenant spoke up, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "Sir, their technology is beyond anything we've ever seen. Our most advanced sensors can barely penetrate their hull. We've detected energy readings that suggest weapons powerful enough to obliterate entire continents." Chen's jaw tightened. He'd spent his career preparing for every conceivable threat to Earth, but this was beyond imagination. "And our defenses?" The lieutenant's hesitation spoke volumes. "Inadequate, sir. If they choose to attack, we'd be sitting ducks," Chen finished grimly. Meanwhile, at the United Nations headquarters in New York, Secretary General Adebayo Okafor addressed an emergency session of the General Assembly. His normally composed demeanor was strained as he faced the representatives of Earth's nations. "My fellow citizens of Earth," he began, his deep voice resonating through the chamber, "we stand at the precipice of a new era. The visitors in our skies represent not just an alien civilization, but a challenge to everything we know about our place in the universe. We must approach this moment with caution, wisdom, and above all, unity." As Okafor spoke, a team of linguists and xenobiologists, led by Dr. Yuki Tanaka, worked feverishly to establish communication with the alien vessel. Yuki, a prodigy in the field of theoretical xenolinguistics, had spent her career preparing for this moment. "We're broadcasting on all frequencies," she reported to her team, her eyes never leaving the complex algorithms running on her screen. "Radio waves, light pulses, even quantum entanglement signals. If they're willing to talk, we'll find a way." Hours passed with no response from the alien ship. The silence was deafening, heightening global tensions with each passing minute. Then, just as world leaders were considering more drastic measures, it happened. A beam of shimmering light shot down from the vessel, touching down in the heart of New York's Central Park. As the light faded, a figure emerged, unmistakably alien, yet eerily humanoid. The beam stood nearly 8 feet tall, its body covered in iridescent scales that shifted colors with each movement. 4 arms extended from its torso, ending in long, delicate fingers. But it was the creature's eyes that captivated the stunned onlookers. 3 large, multifaceted orbs that seemed to take in everything at once. "People of Earth," the alien spoke, its voice resonating not through the air, but directly in the minds of all who witnessed it. "I am Zorthal, emissary of the Galactic Hegemony. We have come to welcome you into the fold of advanced civilizations." A wave of relief washed over the crowds gathered around the park and the billions watching via global broadcasts. First contact, it seemed, would be peaceful after all. But Zorthal's next words sent a chill through every human heart. "Your planet has been noted for its resources and strategic position. You will be granted the honor of serving the hegemony. Resist, and you will be subjugated by force. You have one planetary rotation to decide. As the alien emissary vanished in another flash of light, the initial euphoria of first contact gave way to a grim reality. Humanity faced an ultimatum: submit to an alien empire or face annihilation. In the following hours, Earth's leaders convened in emergency sessions. Military commanders like General Chen argued for immediate mobilization of all forces, while diplomats pleaded for caution and negotiation. Dr. Samira Patel, called in to consult with the United Nations, offered a different perspective. Their technology is advanced, yes, but not incomprehensible, she argued. Given time, we might be able to understand it, maybe even counter it. But we need that time. As dawn broke over a sleepless world, humanity stood at a crossroads. The choice they would make in the coming hours would determine not just the fate of their species, but their very identity as free beings in a vast and suddenly very dangerous universe. The galactic hegemony had extended its hand, but was it in greeting, or to crush the fledgling civilization that dared to dream of the stars? As the countdown to the deadline began, every human on Earth faced the same question: submit or defy. The ultimatum and Earth's response. As the sun rose on humanity's most critical day, world leaders gathered in a secure underground facility beneath the Swiss Alps. The United Earth Council, hastily formed in the wake of the alien ultimatum, faced the most consequential decision in human history. Secretary General Okafor, his face etched with the weight of billions of lives, addressed the assembly. We have mere hours to decide the fate of our species. The floor is open for discussion. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices, fear and determination mingling in equal measure. Some argued for immediate surrender, hoping to secure favorable terms from the galactic hegemony. Others called for defiance, unwilling to bow to alien demands no matter the cost. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the xenolinguistics expert, stepped forward. We need to buy time, she asserted. Their message was clear, but there's so much we don't know. If we can engage them in dialogue, learn more about their culture and technology, we might find a way to negotiate or find a weakness. General Chen's voice cut through the din. And if they see through our stalling tactics, we'd be sacrificing our only chance to prepare defenses. What defenses? Dr. Samira Patel interjected. You saw their ship. Our most powerful weapons would be like throwing pebbles at a tank. We need time to study their tech, to innovate. As the debate raged on, a quiet voice spoke up from the back of the room. Dr. Elias Reeves, a polymathic genius known for his unconventional thinking, had been silently observing the proceedings. Now, all eyes turned to him. We do both, he said simply. We negotiate, but not to buy time. We negotiate to learn. Every interaction, every word exchange is data. Data we can use to understand them, their technology, their weaknesses. Meanwhile, we prepare in secret. A hush fell over the room as the implications of Reeves' words sank in. It was a dangerous gambit, but it might be their only chance. Secretary General Okafor nodded slowly. Dr. Reeves, elaborate on this plan. How do we proceed? Over the next hour, a daring strategy took shape. Earth would respond to the hegemony's ultimatum with a carefully crafted message of cautious interest. They would request more information, express concerns, and above all, keep the aliens talking. Meanwhile, in hidden facilities around the globe, the brightest minds of humanity would work tirelessly to decipher alien technology and develop countermeasures. Military preparations would be disguised as civil defense initiatives, and a web of misinformation would be spun to conceal humanity's true intentions from their would-be conquerors. As the plan was finalized, Okafor turned to address the global population. Billions watched with bated breath as he delivered a message of unity and hope, carefully crafted to reveal nothing of Earth's true strategy to their alien observers. People of Earth, he began, his voice steady despite the pressure. We have heard the message from the stars. While we are honored by the galactic hegemony's invitation, We have many questions and concerns. We have responded to their emissary, requesting further dialogue to ensure a smooth transition for our world. Let us approach this new chapter in human history with open minds and united hearts. As Okafor's words echoed across the planet, Operation Silent Defiance began. In underground labs, scientists like Samira Patel pored over every scrap of data from the alien ship, seeking to unlock its secrets. Dr. Yuki Tanaka led a team developing more sophisticated communication methods, hoping to glean crucial information from every exchange with the hegemony. General Chen oversaw the covert mobilization of Earth's military forces, disguising troop movements and weapons development as routine exercises and technological advancement projects. Every nation contributed resources and personnel to the cause, old rivalries set aside in the face of an existential threat. Dr. Elias Reeves found himself at the heart of the most secretive and crucial project of all. In a hidden facility deep beneath the Atacama Desert, he led a team of brilliant misfits, engineers, physicists, biologists, and more, in a race to develop technologies that could level the playing field against the alien threat. Think outside the box, Reeves challenged his team. They expect us to be primitive. Let's show them how dangerous primitive can be. Days turned into weeks as humanity walked a precarious tightrope. Each interaction with Zorthal and the hegemony was a delicate dance of diplomacy and deception. Earth's representatives feigned interest in joining the galactic community while peppering the aliens with questions about their technology, culture, and the nature of their rule. To the hegemony, it must have seemed that humanity was merely taking time to come to terms with its new reality. But with every exchange, every scrap of information gleaned, Earth's hidden resistance grew stronger. In his private moments, Secretary General Okafor grappled with the moral implications of their deception. Are we any better than them? He mused to his closest advisors, lying and plotting like this. It was Dr. Tanaka who provided the answer that steeled his resolve. The difference, Mr. Secretary, is that we're fighting for our freedom, for our right to determine our own destiny. That makes all the difference in the universe. As the deadline for Earth's final answer to the hegemony approached, tension mounted across the globe. In homes and bunkers, in secret labs and military bases, humanity held its collective breath. They had played a dangerous game, and soon they would learn if their gambit had paid off. In New York, Zorthal materialized once more, ready to receive Earth's decision. But this time, humanity was prepared. As Okafor stepped forward to address the alien emissary, a signal raced across the globe, activating Operation Silent Defiance. The moment of truth had arrived. Humanity was about to show the galaxy that they were not merely another primitive species to be conquered. They were humans, born of Earth, and they would fight for their freedom with every ounce of ingenuity and courage they possessed. As Okafor opened his mouth to speak, the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The next words uttered would either mark the beginning of Earth's submission, or the start of a war for survival that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. Operation Defiance. The tension in New York's Central Park was palpable as Secretary General Okafor faced the towering form of Zorthal. Millions around the world watched, unaware that they were about to witness the opening salvo of humanity's boldest gambit. Emissary Zorthal. Okafor began, his voice steady and resolute. On behalf of Earth, I thank you for your patience. We have carefully considered your offer to join the galactic hegemony. Zorthal's multifaceted eyes glimmered with what might have been anticipation. But before the alien could respond, Okafor continued, his next words shocking both the emissary and much of humanity. We respectfully decline. A collective gasp echoed across the globe. In hidden bunkers and secret facilities, teams of scientists, engineers, and soldiers tensed, ready to execute their carefully laid plans. Zorthal's form seemed to ripple with surprise, perhaps even anger. You refuse the generosity of the hegemony. You condemn your species to The alien's words were cut short as the sky above suddenly blazed with light. Dozens of sleek, dart-like ships emerged from stealth, their hulls gleaming with an iridescence that mimicked the hegemony's own technology. Earth had unveiled its first surprise, a fleet of advanced spacecraft, reverse-engineered from the scraps of data gleaned during weeks of careful observation and covert research. General Chen's voice crackled over global communications channels. Operation Defiance is go. All units, execute your objectives. Across the planet, hidden weapon emplacements emerged from camouflage. But these were no ordinary arms. They were the fruits of Dr. Elias Reeves' frantic weeks of innovation. Quantum-entangled particle beams, gravity manipulation fields, and swarms of nanobots capable of disabling alien tech from within. In low Earth orbit, the hegemony's massive ship found itself suddenly enveloped in a cocoon of disruptive energy. Dr. Samira Patel watched from her command center, a fierce grin on her face. "Let's see how they like a taste of their own technological medicine," she muttered. The alien vessel's shields flickered and wavered, clearly struggling against an attack they had never anticipated from a primitive world. Back in Central Park, Zor-Thal's form began to destabilize, the holographic projection disrupted by Earth's sudden technological leap. This is impossible," the emissary sputtered. "You are not capable of." "Oh, but we are," Okafor interrupted, his voice tinged with pride. "Humanity has a long history of exceeding expectations, especially when our freedom is at stake." As if to punctuate his words, the first squadrons of Earth's new aerospace fighters screamed across the sky, engaging the smaller hegemony craft that had begun to pour from the mothership. The battle for Earth had begun in earnest. In the Atacama facility, Dr. Reeves and his team worked feverishly, coordinating the deployment of their inventions and rapidly adapting to the hegemony's counterattacks. "They're already trying to crack our quantum encryption," a young programmer shouted. Reeves nodded, unsurprised. "Initiate the AI countermeasures. Let's show them how Earth does cyber warfare." Across the digital battlefield, artificial intelligences clashed, each side trying to outmaneuver the other in milliseconds. Earth's AIs, bred from decades of global network conflicts, proved wilier than the hegemony expected. As the space battle raged, Dr. Yuki Tanaka made a critical breakthrough. "Their command structure," she exclaimed to her team. "It's hierarchical, almost to a fault. If we can disrupt their chain of command." The information was relayed to the front lines in an instant. Earth's forces began to target communication nodes and what appeared to be command ships, sowing chaos in the hegemony's ranks. Hours passed, and the tide of battle ebbed and flowed. Earth suffered grievous losses. Entire cities lay in ruins, and the death toll mounted. But humanity fought with a ferocity that seemed to take the hegemony by surprise. In low orbit, a daring team of astronauts, led by a stoic commander named Kira Yoshida, attempted the unthinkable, boarding the hegemony mothership. Using stealth tech and sheer audacity, they penetrated the alien vessel's defenses. "We're in," Yoshida's voice crackled over the comms. "Beginning download of their database. Dr. Tanaka, you're about to get a treasure trove of intel." But the mission came at a terrible cost. As the team attempted to extract, they were discovered. Yoshida's last transmission was cut short by an explosion that rocked the alien ship. On Earth, the loss was felt keenly, but Yoshida's sacrifice had not been in vain. The data her team secured provided crucial insights into hegemony technology and strategy. As the first day of battle drew to a close, humanity had bloodied the nose of a galactic superpower, but the war was far from over. The hegemony, initially shocked by Earth's resistance, was regrouping. More ships were arriving, summoned from nearby star systems. In the UN's emergency bunker, Earth's leaders gathered to assess the situation. The holographic display showed a planet scared by conflict, yet still defiant. "We've surprised them," General Chen reported, his uniform singed and torn. "But they're adapting. The next wave will be worse." Dr. Reeves, his eyes red from sleepless nights of innovation, spoke up. "We've only scratched the surface of what we can do. Give us time, and we'll find more of their weaknesses." Secretary General Okafor looked around the room, seeing determination etched on every face. "Time," he mused, "has always been humanity's most precious resource. And now, more than ever, it's the key to our survival." As the room erupted into strategic discussions, Dr. Patel's voice cut through the din. "There's something else," she said, her tone urgent. "The data from Commander Yoshida's team. It suggests the hegemony isn't as united as they want us to believe. There are factions, dissenters. If we can find a way to exploit that." A glimmer of hope sparked in Okafor's eyes. "Then perhaps this war can be won not just on the battlefield, but in the hearts and minds of our enemy." As dawn broke on the second day of Earth's defiance, humanity steeled itself for the challenges ahead. They had stood up to a galactic power and survived the first onslaught. Now, the real test of their ingenuity, courage, and unity was about to begin. The battle for Earth, and for the very soul of humanity, raged on. The turning point. As the war entered its second week, Earth teetered on the brink of exhaustion. Cities lay in ruins, millions were displaced, and the planet's resources were stretched to their limits. Yet the human spirit remained unbroken. In the depths of the Marianas Trench, aboard a secret underwater research facility, Dr. Elias Reeves pored over the data from Commander Yoshida's sacrifice. His eyes, bloodshot from lack of sleep, suddenly widened. "This can't be right," he muttered, double-checking his findings. "Dr. Tanaka, I need you to verify something for me." Across the globe, in a bunker beneath the ruins of Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka received Reeves' transmission. As she analyzed the data, her hands began to tremble with excitement. "It's true," she breathed. "The hegemony's entire communication network, it's based on a form of quantum entanglement. But there's a flaw in their implementation, a backdoor." The implications were staggering. If they could exploit this vulnerability, they might be able to disrupt the entire hegemony fleet's coordination. As this discovery was relayed to Earth's leadership, another breakthrough emerged from an unexpected source. In a makeshift lab in the Amazon rainforest, Dr. Amara Okafor, the Secretary General's estranged daughter and a brilliant biologist, had made a startling find. "The hegemony's biology," she reported, her voice taut with urgency. "It's not as alien as we thought. There are similarities to Earth extremophiles. I think we might be able to engineer a virus that could incapacitate their ground forces." The potential of biological warfare against the invaders was both promising and terrifying. The ethical implications were not lost on anyone, but with humanity's survival at stake, all options had to be considered. Meanwhile, on the front lines, General Chen led a daring counteroffensive. Using guerrilla tactics and the latest innovations from Earth's scientists, human forces began to target key hegemony command ships. "Remember," Chen's voice crackled over the comms to his troops, "we're not just fighting for our lives. We're fighting for our right to exist as free beings. Every alien ship we take down is a message to the galaxy. Humanity will not go quietly." As battles raged across the globe and in orbit, Secretary General Okafor faced a difficult decision. The combined strategies of disrupting the hegemony's communications and potentially deploying a biological weapon could turn the tide of the war. But the risks were enormous. "If we do this," he said to his advisors, "we're crossing a line. We'll be using the same tactics of subjugation that we're fighting against." Dr. Samira Patel, her face gaunt from weeks of ceaseless work, spoke up. "With respect, Mr. Secretary, the difference is in our intent. We're not seeking to conquer. We're fighting for survival, for freedom. Once we've secured our safety, we can work towards a more ethical coexistence." After hours of debate, the decision was made. Operation Shattered Sky would commence. The plan was audacious. While Dr. Reeves and Dr. Tanaka worked to infiltrate and disrupt the hegemony's quantum communication network, Dr. Amara Okafor's team prepared their biological countermeasure. Earth's remaining military forces, bolstered by millions of civilian volunteers, prepared for a global offensive. As the operation began, chaos erupted among the hegemony forces. Ships lost coordination, tactics fell apart, and for the first time, the alien invaders seemed vulnerable. On the ground, the effects of Dr. Okafor's bioweapon became apparent. Hegemony ground troops began to falter, their advanced bodies betrayed by a virus engineered from Earth's most resilient life forms. The tide of battle shifted dramatically. Human forces, emboldened by their successes, pushed back against the invaders with renewed vigor. Cities under alien occupation were liberated one by one. In orbit, the once mighty hegemony fleet found itself outmaneuvered by smaller, more agile Earth ships. The quantum communication disruption left them unable to coordinate effectively, and human ingenuity exploited every weakness. As the battle reached its crescendo, a transmission from the hegemony flagship rocked the world. It was Zorthal, the emissary who had delivered the ultimatum that started the war. People of Earth, the alien's voice resonated, tinged with something that might have been respect. You have proven yourselves to be far more than we anticipated. The hegemony underestimated your species. We request a ceasefire to discuss terms. The word sent shockwaves through the human forces. After weeks of brutal conflict, could it really be ending? Secretary General Okafor, standing amidst the ruins of the UN headquarters, straightened his posture. The weight of humanity's future rested on his next words. Emissary Zorthal, he responded, his voice firm. We accept your request for a ceasefire. But understand this, Earth will accept nothing less than full recognition of our sovereignty and our right to self-determination. As the guns fell silent and the ships stood down, a tentative hope began to blossom across the planet. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged, battered but unbroken. In the coming days, negotiations would begin. The galaxy would have to come to terms with a new player on the cosmic stage, a young species that had proven its worth in the crucible of war. As the sun set on the final day of conflict, Dr. Elias Reeves stood on a hill overlooking the devastated but defiant city of Rio de Janeiro. Beside him, Dr. Yuki Tanaka and Dr. Samira Patel watched the sky, no longer filled with the fire of battle. We did it, Tanaka whispered, almost in disbelief. Reeves nodded slowly. We did. But this is just the beginning. The real challenge lies ahead. Patel turned to her colleagues, a determined glint in her eye. Then we'd better get to work. We have a planet to rebuild, and a galaxy to explore. As night fell, the stars seemed to shine brighter than ever before. Humanity had claimed its place among them, not through conquest, but through the indomitable spirit that had always defined their species. The war was over. The journey was just beginning. Aftermath and new horizons. The dawn of a new era broke over a scared but resilient Earth. In the months following the ceasefire, the planet buzzed with activity as humanity began the monumental task of rebuilding, while simultaneously preparing for its new role on the galactic stage. In Geneva, a city chosen for its symbolic neutrality, Earth's leaders gathered with representatives from the galactic hegemony to negotiate the terms of peace. The talks were tense, with centuries of hegemony dominance clashing against humanity's fierce desire for independence. Secretary General Okafor, flanked by a diverse team of Earth's brightest minds, faced Zorthal across the negotiation table. The alien emissary, once imperious and demanding, now regarded the humans with a mix of caution and grudging respect. The hegemony proposes a non-aggression pact. Zorthal began, his multifaceted eyes scanning the room. In exchange for cessation of hostilities, we offer limited technological exchange and recognition of Earth's autonomy within its solar system. Okafor leaned forward, his gaze steady. A generous offer, emissary. But Earth demands more. We seek full recognition as a sovereign species, free to explore and expand beyond our solar system. Moreover, we propose an alliance of equals, not subjugation disguised as benevolence. The negotiations stretched on for weeks, each side pushing and probing for advantage. But as the talks progressed, a surprising development emerged. Other alien species, long suppressed or marginalized by the hegemony, began to take notice of Earth's defiance. Whispers of rebellion spread through the galaxy. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, serving as Earth's chief xenolinguist during the talks, made a startling discovery. The hegemony isn't just an empire, she reported to the Earth delegation. It's a fragile coalition of dominant species, held together by fear and technological superiority. Our resistance has inspired others. This revelation shifted the balance of the negotiations. Earth was no longer just fighting for its own freedom. It had become a symbol of hope for oppressed species across the galaxy. As the peace talks neared their conclusion, a new proposal emerged. Earth would indeed be recognized as a sovereign power, free to explore and expand. But more than that, it would become the founding member of a new galactic alliance, one built on principles of mutual respect, shared knowledge, and collective defense. The Galaxy Union, as it came to be known, would stand as a counterbalance to the hegemony's power. It was a bold vision, one that would reshape the political landscape of the Milky Way. Back on Earth, the work of rebuilding continued apace. Dr. Elias Reeves led a global initiative to adapt alien technology for peaceful purposes. Devastated cities were reborn, incorporating advanced materials and clean energy sources that seemed like magic mere months ago. In orbit, the first of Earth's true starships took shape. General Chen, now heading the newly formed Earth Space Force, oversaw the construction with a mix of pride and caution. "We must be prepared," he often said, "for peace and for war. The galaxy is vast, and not all its inhabitants will be friendly." Dr. Samira Patel found herself at the forefront of a new scientific renaissance. The influx of alien knowledge, combined with humanity's innovative spirit, led to breakthroughs in physics, medicine, and a dozen other fields. "We're standing on the shoulders of giants," she told a class of eager students, "but we're reaching for heights they never imagined." As Earth took its first tentative steps into the galactic community, challenges remained. Some humans called for isolation, fearing further alien contact. Others pushed for rapid expansion, eager to claim humanity's place among the stars. Balancing these competing viewpoints would be an ongoing struggle. 1 year after the war's end, humanity celebrated its first FTL flight. The Starship Phoenix, crewed by a diverse team of Earth's finest, prepared to journey to a nearby star system. As the ship made final preparations for launch, Secretary General Okafor addressed the world. "Today, we embark on a new chapter in human history," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "We go forth not as conquerors, but as explorers and peacekeepers. We carry with us the hopes and dreams of Earth, and the promise of a better future for all sentient beings." As the Phoenix disappeared in a flash of light, leaving the solar system behind, a sense of wonder and possibility swept across the planet. Humanity had faced its greatest trial and emerged stronger, wiser, and united in purpose. Dr. Amara Okafor, watching the launch from her rainforest laboratory, felt a surge of pride. Her work in xenobiology was opening new frontiers in medicine and environmental science. "We've learned so much," she mused to her team, "but there's still so much more to discover." In hidden corners of the galaxy, news of Earth's defiance and the formation of the Galaxy Union spread like wildfire. Species long oppressed by the hegemony began to stir, inspired by the humans who had dared to stand against a galactic superpower. The hegemony, while still powerful, found its grip on the galaxy weakening. The age of unchallenged dominion was over, replaced by a new era of competition and cooperation. As Earth continued to heal and grow, its people looked to the stars with new eyes. They had faced the universe's harsh realities and emerged victorious. Now, with allies at their side and a spirit of determined optimism, humanity prepared to write its next chapter, not just on Earth, but across the vast tapestry of the cosmos. The journey that began with a warning shot had led to a new dawn for Earth and for the galaxy. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them as they always had, with courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned, and humanity, battle-tested and resolute, was ready to answer their call.